Hi, in this lecture, we will understand governance and management. So, what is governance? Governance is the process of running an organization. It is a process that defines how decisions are being made, by whom, and how they are implemented throughout the organization. These are not you, these are C level executives. Um, Governance varies by organization, such as a small private business might have a very simplistic process in which all the decisions are being made by business owners, whereas in a large organization or large corporations, decisions are being made by business owners, board of directors, and other stakeholders. So each organization has its own process for making decisions based on its structure, goals, nature, and industry. Governance actually balance. They provide. They set balance agreed upon objective to be achieved. They are the person who decide the risk appetite of an organization. Risk appetite is an important concept in governance, particularly in the concept of cybersecurity and risk management. It refers to the level of risk that an organization is willing to accept in pursuit of its objective. Risk appetite is influenced by various factors, including the industries or organizations, industry, regulatory environment, and risk tolerance. For example, an organization with a high risk appetite may be more willing to accept certain risk in order to pursue aggressive growth strategy, while an organization with a low risk appetite may prioritize security measures that minimize risk, even it means sacrificing some growth opportunities. So this is what governance is. They are basically the C level executive. They make they make the decisions. They formalize, you can say, they formalize the overall secure objective of an organization. Then next we come to management. On the other hand, then we come to management. Management, on the other hand, involves the implementation of these governance principles. So whatever the governance or the C level executive prepare, the management, actually management itself, uh, they are the low, you might think of something lower level of the C level, C executives. So they involve the implementation of these governance principles. It includes tasks such as risk assessment, security monitoring, incident response, and compliance management. This means that they plan, build, run, and monitor the task as per directions set by the organization to achieve the objective and provide the feedback to C level executive. This is basically you, because you are you think of yourself as an IT security manager itself. So you are not in C level, you are security, you are in security manager, so you come in the management part. The management team have to look after the risk tolerance. So risk tolerance refers to the level of risk that an organization is willing to accept or take on in pursuit of its objective. It is closely related to risk appetite, but is more specific to the tolerance for individual risk or type of risk. For an example, so for example, company XYZ operates an e-commerce platform that generates significant revenue through online sales. They have determined that any unplanned downtime that lasts more than 30 minutes would result in a substantial loss of revenue and customer trust. So as a result, they have a low risk tolerance for downtime. Low risk tolerance here is they can't, I mean 30 minutes is for them is a huge time. So when we you have to look into the larger picture. So to manage this risk, company XYZ invests in redundant server infrastructure, automated failover systems, and 24 by 7 monitoring to quickly identify and resolve issues that could lead to downtime. They also have a robust incident response uh, plan in place to minimize the impact of any potential downtime event. By clearly defining their risk tolerance for downtime, uh, company XYZ can make informed decisions about their IT infrastructure and prioritize investments in technologies and processes that help them maintain high availability and minimize the risk of downtime. So this is what a risk tolerance is. So effective governance and management helps organization reduce the likelihood and impact of security breaches and ensures that they are able to respond effectively to security incident when they occur. This brings us to the next topic, which is top down and bottom up security management. So top down and bottom up. What is this? So top down. Before going further, a key concept that information systems security professionals must understand is that in most cases, the business or organization can and most often does exist without the information systems security department. But however, the information systems security department has no reason to exist without the business. This means that in the case of bottom up, this is where the IT security team is seen as nuisance. Why? Until and unless there's incident which occurs. So why they are seen as nuisance? Because it's a bottom up. So actually nobody cares what IT security team is asking to do. But when incident occurs, the bottom up changes to top down, where IT leadership is on with IT security team, right? This leads and sets the direction of the objective, which has been set by whom? Your governance team. Now we move on to the C level executives. Now, why we have to cover C level executive? Because these C level executives who are there, these C level executives are or can be held ultimately liable for cyber security posture of their organization. This liability stems from their roles in overseeing and managing the organization's operations, finances, and information security. So, even though they are ultimately liable, this doesn't mean that if you have done something wrong, you won't be held liable for that. Okay, so we'll see how they are liable. We'll take examples. So, let's take an example for CISO. Okay, CISO here is our CISO. So CISO holds a crucial or a critical role in an organization's cybersecurity posture and can bear significant liability in certain situations. Regulatory compliance, CISOs are often responsible for ensuring that the organizations complies with relevant cyber security regulations and standards. This is what their job is. They have to overlook out with for the regulations and standards. Failures to comply can result in regulatory fine. And suppose if the company is listed in stocks, okay, and if that company is not having the standards or the regulations which has been maintained or offered by SEBI, which is our security board, at that time the SEBI can imply fine and penalties on this companies, for which actually the CISO may be held accountable. So moving further, adding to this, data breaches. If a data breach occurs due to inadequate cyber security measures or negligence on the part of CISO. Now see, even though if CISO here there is a negligence part on part of the CISO, he will be held liable for this. That's why they are ultimately liable. Even though if you are doing something wrong, your upper management or senior management, which we say, they'll be held liable for it. They may this can include legal actions from affected individuals or regulatory bodies or any other party if there's. Then we have our favorites, that is CFO, that is Chief Financial Officers. Chief Financial Officers can be held liable for cyber security issues in certain cases, particularly if they involve financial aspects or if the CFO is found negligent in their duty. Here are some scenarios which I'll uh, present to you, wherein CFO might face liabilities. The first can be negligence in financial controls. If a cybersecurity breach results in financial loss due to inadequate financial controls or oversight, the CFO can be held liable for failing to ensure the organization's financial security. Or if there's a misrepresentation of financial statement, if a cybersecurity incident leads to financial data being compromised or liable, at that time your CFO knowingly or negligently misrepresent the financial statements based on that data, they could face legal consequences for financial fraud. Then we have CIOs, that is Information Officer. The Chief Information Officer is a key member of the executive team responsible for overseeing the information technologies strategy and operation of an organization. While the specific liabilities of a CIO can vary depending on the organization and its industry, there are several areas where CIO can or may be held liable, such as data breaches and security incident. CIOs can be held liable for data breaches and other security incident that occurs due to inadequate security measures or negligence in implementing cybersecurity best practices. These liabilities can arise from regulatory fines, legal claims, and damage to the organization's reputation. This happens. Then compliance. CIOs are responsible for ensuring that the organization complies with relevant laws, regulations, and industry standards related to IT and data management. So, because IT and data management, because they are looking after the overall infrastructure and operations of the IT department. Failure to comply with these requirements can result in legal and financial consequences for the CIO and the organization. And the most liable person of an organization is who? It's your CEO. The liability of the CEO, that is Chief Executive Officer, can vary depending on the jurisdictions and the specific circumstances of the case. Generally, CEOs can be held liable for their actions or decisions that results in harm to the organization, its shareholders or other stakeholders. Um, I'll share some of the key areas where CEOs may face a liability. Corporate governance, CEOs are responsible for ensuring that the organization complies with laws and regulations, as well as its own policies and procedures. Failure to do so can result in legal and regulatory actions. Then again, for financial mismanagement, CEOs can be held liable for financial mismanagement, including fraud, embezzlement, or other financial misconduct that harms the organization or its stakeholders. Negligence, again, CEOs can be held liable for negligence if they fail to exercise reasonable care in the performance of their duties, leading to harm to the organization or its stakeholders. Data breaches and cybersecurity, with the increase or increasing focus on cybersecurity, CEOs can be held liable for data breaches and other security incidents if they fail to implement adequate security measures or respond appropriately to breaches. But did again, but this doesn't mean that if you are not liable, this doesn't mean that you are not liable. You are liable. The senior management are liable, but it will all come down to you. So be focused of what you are doing. So we'll finish over here, and I'll see you in the next an interesting topic. I love that.